conventions. It's almost like family to me. And it's an opportunity to travel and to meet your readership, to get feedback from your readership. A lot of mainstream writers who I have met. I've attended writers' conferences and things like that, where you sit down with people who are doing literary fiction or mainstream popular fiction, and they're tremendously isolated from their readers. They write something and it's like throwing it into a deep well. They may get a few reviews, but unless they achieve the really top levels of a Stephen King or Robert Ludlum, they're never recognized, and so people never come up to them and talk to them about their books. But a science fiction or fantasy writer, through this whole fanish subculture, is constantly meeting his readers. I don't think science fiction has ever been about predictions. I think that the whole can of worms, the science fiction predicts the future, arose out of the fans of the 30s and 40s, when they were constantly being put down, and it was almost a defensive thing that they developed. You know, why do you read that crazy stuff? Well, it predicted tin cans, so it's very visionary, you know. I don't think anybody reads science fiction in order to find out what the future is going to be like. I mean, if they did, they'd go crazy. I mean, there's, you know, for every right prediction in a science fiction story, there are 1,000 terribly wrong predictions. I mean, you can go back and read science fiction books of the 40s and read about that, you know, the far future, the 90s, what life would be like in the 90s, you know, and we should all be living in domed cities by now and commuting to work on our little private helicopters that we would park on our roofs, fusion-powered helicopters, of course. You know, hey, what happened? Where is it all? This was like the consensus future that was supposed to arrive. Any literature is written for the contemporary audience. It may be about the Roman Empire. It may be about the Old West. It may be about the far future. It may be about a world that never existed. But it's meant for the audience here and now, and it's only to the extent that it speaks to that contemporary audience that it is successful or that it is a failure.